Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am here to update you on my goals using my Cultivate What Matters Power Sheets Goal Planner. So this is a video I do every single month. I share with you all the goals that I'd set for the last month, how they went, what did I do, in this case, what I didn't do. Spoiler alert, September was rough. We'll get there. And I'll go through each goal in detail, really what fell apart in September. And then I will go through all of the goals that I have set for the upcoming month. So I'll share with you everything that I have planned for the month of October. This is one of my favorite videos to film. I've had a lot of questions where this video was. This video is a little bit late this month in terms of days of the month. Usually I get it up before the end of the month, sometimes a couple days into the month, depending on how the days fall with my video schedule. But this month, like I said, was crazy, and I was out of town from September 21st through September 29th. And truthfully, September 21st, it just felt too early. Plus I was like so busy frantically trying to prepare for my trip. It just felt way too early to try and assess my goals and set up October. But then of course, by the time I got home, I was like, October is 2 days away. So I actually did my power sheets this month on the very last day of the month. And honestly, I really liked that. So what I set out to do at the beginning of the year was do the last weekend before the month starts. I work a 9-to-5 job, so I really have a lot more time on the weekends. And for me, that seemed to make more sense to do it on the weekends than to try and squeeze it in after work. But my travel schedule, like the past couple of months, I've been out of town the last weekend of the month. So I've actually been doing them way earlier. And part of me is like, should I wait? Should I wait and do it until after, like until the very last day of the month? There is another friend of mine, her name is Rita Goodrow. She's actually another one of the Cultivate What Matters table leaders for the live event that's in December. And I've only met her via Skype. I've never actually met her in person, but that's what she does. She always does it the last day of the month. Like with that feel, no matter what day of the week it is, she does it the last day of the month. So I am thinking, although of course that would be Halloween, which would be kind of weird. Not that I have plans for Halloween, like in the middle of the week, but I'm considering that for the future, is doing it actually on the last day of the month. Here's what that would mean though. It can't go up as early as it has been. It would go up right now, given the current schedule. My only free day is Fridays for videos that aren't vlogs or plan with me's. So it would go up like the first Friday of the month, which sometimes like this month is like the 4th. So I just want to know your thoughts. If it goes up a little bit past the new month, is that big of a deal for you? Do you like, I feel like I hope that you get a lot of value out of these by seeing an actual human and what their goals are and what they do with their day-to-day lives. But does it matter when it goes up? You know what I mean? So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that, because that's something that I'm leaning towards, because it did feel right for this month to do the goals and then literally turn the page and it was time for the new month. It just felt good. So anyways, let's go through September. Like I said, September was a little rough. Yep. I stopped checking in with my power sheets after the 10th. That's as far as I got. Like I didn't even shade in October tending list, which I clearly did because we're here filming this video. But yeah, September was rough, y'all. There was just a lot going on. There was a lot going on. I tried to do too much. Here is where I think it all truly fell apart. I took checking in with my power sheets every day off of my power sheets. So if we rewind to the beginning of the year, I had checking in with my power sheets as a weekly goal. And I tried to just move everything from my power sheets into my Erin Condren life planner and let that be my tracking system. And it worked sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. But a couple of months ago, I decided, all right, I'm done with this, like sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I am going to add checking in with my power sheets every single day to the daily action items. It was amazing. I checked in with my goals almost every single day. I was always looking at what was on my power sheets. I was making sure things were getting done. It was great. It felt really great. I don't remember when I implemented that, but it was awesome. Well, September rolled around and I talked about this a little bit more in last month's video, but I felt like I was doing a good job. Like it was open on my desk. I was checking it every day. I'm good. I can take it off and add in new habits. I was wrong. That was not a good idea. I completely regret not keeping that on my power sheets. So you'll notice in October, it's going back on. But I think that was the big culprit, that along with the busyness and the travel and all of the other things. Here's the other thing that I'm tempted to do and try. Oh, this makes me a little bit nervous, but hear me out and maybe you can give me some advice. So the tending list page, like the page with all the different goal action items, is perforated so that you can take it out and put it places. Put it on the fridge, put it in the planner. I want to do that. I want to rip it out and take it with me when I'm traveling. I want to rip it out and carry it in my planner. I want to rip it out and be okay with it not being bound in the book anymore. That makes me so nervous for so many reasons. Like, what if it gets messed up? Like, it's safe in the book and then it's not in the book anymore. Now, obviously I could like clip it back in or glue it back in or staple it back in. So like, that's a stupid reason. Anyways, I'm thinking about it for October. I don't have as many trips in October. I just have 2 weekend trips. So, and I leave Friday, come back Sunday. So like, I'm really only away from my power sheets 1 day, and like in reality, on those trips. So October may not be the month for that, but November, I am gone. I did the math already, but I have like a 10-day trip over internationally, and then I'm going home for a week for Thanksgiving. Like cumulatively in November, I'm away more than I'm home. So I really wanted to do that. Let me know in the comments if you've ever done that. Like if you use the power sheets, have you ripped your tending list out, and how did you feel at the end of it? All right, let's quickly go through the September goals. I'll share with you why they didn't go the way that they did, and if they're moving into October or if they're just getting forgotten because they just didn't get done. So the first one is the October tending list. I mean, I did that, I just didn't color it in. The next one is the LLC stuff. That one did get done at the very beginning of the month. It was like the first thing that I did, so that was good. The next one is clean off my bedroom shelves. I also did this one at like pretty much at the beginning of the month. They kind of have already gotten messy again a little bit. Honestly, I've been struggling with the apartment recently. It's been feeling cluttered and kind of, I don't know, overwhelming to me. And I feel like I don't know what happened to all the progress I made. I will say, actually, the progress I did make this year that has stuck the entire year is the kitchen. The Tupperware cabinet has stayed pristine since I cleaned it out. What was that, March? The Tupperware cabinet is perfect. Everything else is kind of falling apart. Okay, the next one was the dermatologist appointment. And the reason this didn't get done, I have a decent reason for this. We talked about it last month, but I have money sitting in my health savings account, the one that is not, I cannot transfer it over to next year. I have to use it technically by March 31st. Or it goes away. I put a bunch of money in it to cover my wisdom teeth, and my wisdom teeth ended up costing less than I thought it was going to. So then I went to the allergist and I got a bill from my allergist and I paid, and I still had this extra money. So I was gonna schedule a dermatologist appointment. Good thing I didn't yet, because I got another bill from my allergist that definitely used up all the money and then some. So yeah, I'm gonna move dermatologists to next year. Okay, the next one is the celebrations binder, and truthfully, I just didn't do this one because I didn't check in with my power sheets and it didn't get scheduled and it didn't happen. But I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna do it another month. I'm definitely not doing it in October, but I wanna mess with it before the new year because I wanna see if I wanna use it in 2020. And I know November and December are gonna be packed. So not putting October may have been a bad idea. Like I may regret that. We'll see. We're gonna come back to that one. Okay, the next three have all gotten moved to October. I did talk about them last month if you want a little bit more detail, but it is to make sort of an overview of 2020, get our Taj Mahal tour booked, and get our visas for China squared away. Those are all things I do still want to get done, and I've moved them all over to the October list. The next one, where the sticker went, I don't know, the sticker fell off, is to organize videos. You know, I really wish I'd move this to October. Oh, you know what I think? I need to put on a sticky note. I think what I thought when I was doing my October tending list is this would be a really good plane activity, and I have so much plane time in November that this is a good November activity for all the plane time that I'm gonna have. So I'm gonna write that down. Okay, that's all the monthly action items. I got done 4 of 10. It's not a very good score there. Let's move on to the weekly items. Not a very good score there either. Like you saw with the daily items, I stopped checking my power sheets after the 10th, so I only got through weeks 1 and 2 of the weekly items, but let's go ahead and go through them. The first one is to cook a new recipe. I actually did that the first 2 weeks. I was pretty good about that. and then it sort of fell apart, and then I went out of town. I wasn't gonna cook while I was out of town. So that one was good in theory. It's not happening in October. I'm sticking to Old Faithfuls. We're just trying to we're not stop eating out. We're trying to eat out less, but I'm not gonna try and be fancy or creative about it. All right, the next one was the Life Kit podcast. It was a podcast recommended to me by somebody that I follow, and I wanted to listen to it. I didn't. The next ones were talk to my mom and talk to my dad. I mean, I did that decently in the first 2 weeks, but I didn't follow through after that, even though I did talk to them. I talked to my mom a decent amount actually when I was in Seattle, when I was walking. Whenever I was walking somewhere, I would call her and chat with her. So I do feel like I did a good job of keeping up with my mom and dad. I'm not moving that to October only because I'm seeing them both in person in October. So I felt like that was covering it. All right, the next one was something that I am not ready to share yet. I didn't do it. It's not getting moved to October. I think that is something that I'm just pushing off to 2020. All right, the next one was to plan the Seattle trip. Oh, the irony. I really wanted to do it once a week. Like, I really wanted to take some time once a week and ask for recommendations and do research and make plans. Nope, I did it like 2 hours one night the week before we left. Like the Tuesday before we left, I literally asked on Instagram that day for recommendations, and I sat down, I organized the list, I did my research, I prioritized, I put them on what days I was gonna do them so that I could fill my plan with me the next day. I didn't do it a little bit a week. I think one of the things that I've struggled with a lot this year, and it's probably a relatively common theme throughout my goals videos, is determining what is better off just being a one-time session, like a power through, like sit down for a couple hours and just do it and make it like a one-time action item, or is it better off being broken into months or even days? I don't know. I don't know what's better, and obviously I think it's different for different actions. I think it's different for different people, but for me, I have really struggled like this year to figure out if things are one-time things or things I should break down weekly, because I don't know. In my head, it seems like it's easier to break it down, but then there's times that I'm just better off sitting down and powering through. All right, the next one was a phone-free bubble bath. I did it the first week, and then that's it. I had intentions to catch up on this in Seattle, truthfully, and just backlog them all to Seattle. And then our hotel room only had a shower. All right, and then the last one was to organize photos on phone. I think that this goes into the same category as organize my videos. I think it's just a really good plane activity. Like, it's something I can do on the plane. I don't need internet. I don't need a lot of space. I just need me and my phone. And I think I can do this during my traveling in November. So I'm gonna actually move that to November's list. All right, the daily action item. So like you saw, I only made it to day 10. The first one was a weigh-in every day. I did this 3 of the 10 days. Here's my problem. I don't have a place in my living room that I like to keep my scale. Like, there just isn't a convenient place for it. So I've been keeping it in the bedroom. But when I wake up in the morning, Sam is usually still asleep. So I come out into the living room and shut the door. But I wanna weigh myself as soon as I wake up because I feel like that's the right time, and then it's consistent every day. But then I have to go to the bathroom and then go back in the dark and weigh myself and then come back out, or I have to wait till he wakes up. It's like a complicated thing. I really just need to find a place out here to store my scale. I think that would solve that problem. The next one was to eat a green veggie. I did pretty well on this until I stopped tracking it. So it's not to say that I didn't do well after I stopped tracking it. I just stopped tracking it. I know I did a decent job in Seattle. I tried to have a salad every time there was like a buffet or we were being provided dinner. There was always salad as an option, so I tried to be really good about that. But again, I stopped tracking it. The next one was to finish a thing of water by noon. I think I did okay with this one too. I don't know. I felt really dehydrated in Seattle, to be honest. I was drinking a ton of water. Also, I love in hotels when you have like unlimited ice all the time. So I think I did a decent job of this. I did while I was still tracking it, but again, stopped tracking it. Okay, the next one was to stand for 30 minutes a day and actually make use of my standing desk. I did decent with this one until I stopped tracking it, like the rest of them. But I am still moving it into October because it's something that I still want to do and focus on in October, especially since I am going out of town twice, but it's really just the weekends. I'm not taking really any days off in October. So this one really should be something that I can hit Monday through Friday in October. Still TBD on Saturday and Sunday. The comment from last video who said, does standing at the bar count? Yes, it does, friend. Thank you. Okay, and then the last daily habit, this poor habit has been like on and off and on and off for months. And that is tidying up my apartment in the evening, PM tidy. I took it off. It's not working right now for us. I'm too tired when I get home from work to like worry about it. So I just haven't been, that's just not a priority right now. So it's just getting booted. So that's how September went. I mean, it wasn't terrible. I did some things, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great, y'all. I let my busy schedule, I didn't compare my schedule with my goals. There was just way too much going on. And at some point it just got overwhelming and I was just like, well, forget it. There goes that month and moving on. All right, it's time to talk about October. The first thing I'm gonna tell you is I kept it simple this month. I limited myself to 5 things per category. Now the habits category already caps you at 5, which I almost sometimes think is too much unless they're things that you've already been doing and you're just trying to like reinforce them. But in the other categories, the monthly one-time action items and the weekly ones, I also limited them to 5. Some of them are carryover, some of them are just very simple, but again, I tried to really focus on simplicity and not overcomplicating it and not trying to add more to my plate, but like adding meaningful things to my plate so that I actually feel like I'm accomplishing something at the end of the month. So the encouraging words I put for this month are focus on what's working. I think this is just about a mindset shift. I think I need to stop complaining or stop making excuses or stop saying like, well, this happened or this got in the way or this isn't working. Well, what is working? Like, let's focus on the positive and not the negative. So did you have a salad at lunch instead of a piece of pizza? Did you like whatever it is, I need to focus on what's working with my goals and like my progress as opposed to focusing on the negative. And then that kind of goes with my top priority, which all I did was put down a sticker that says grateful. I just really this month want to focus on, again, it kind of goes with not focusing on the negative and what's wrong. I want to focus on what I'm thankful for and what I'm grateful for and just try and have that mindset every time I do something. Let's talk about the monthly action items. So the first one is the November tending list. This is always the first one at the top of every list, is just making sure that I prep for next months. I've really enjoyed having this goal in my power sheets this year of making sure I complete my power sheets. I don't know that that's something I'm gonna need next year because this has become such a part of my routine, but that goal has worked really well for me this year. Okay, the next 3 on the monthly action items are all being moved from September. So it's the 2020 overview, the China visas, and the Taj Mahal tour, all moved over from September, all things that I really wanna get done this month. Like I really wanna get them done. So they got to be 3 of my 5. And then the last one on the monthly action items is birthdays. Well, I wasn't thinking. So that is also something that I've been putting on every month. The color that coordinates with it is a goal to cultivate relationships, all the relationships in my life, friends, family, Sam, all of it falls into that one color. And so that's why birthdays are always on the list and they're always that color. If you watched my monthly plan with me for October, I don't have any birthdays in October. I don't have any. I don't have any close friends or family with October birthdays. I forgot about that. The monthly plan with me has been filmed for weeks, by the way. So I put that down and then I realized that I don't have any. So I have 2 thoughts. One, I could just color it in and get credit for it. All done, good to go. The other thing is I could get a jump start on November and December, particularly December, because I have a decent amount of birthdays in December and I'm gonna be gone for most of November. And that's it for monthly action items. Moving on to the weekly action items. The first one is one you've seen before, and that is a phone-free bubble bath. I'm bringing it back. I love doing this. It makes me so relaxed. I'm at home every week this month. I can get my bubble bath in and leave my phone out here. All right, the next 3 are obviously all the same, except it's 1, 2, and 3. And I thought about putting this on like the daily, but then skipping some of the days, and then that just felt weird. So I decided to make it a weekly one and just take up 3 lines. I've never really been a runner. Okay, let's get that out in the open. I've run a 5K once. That's the extent of my running career, if you could call it that. But I kind of want to get back into it. I kind of want to get into it first. And I also know that it's a really simple way to work out when you're traveling. Like go to the gym in the hotel and run on the treadmill. Like it's simple. I don't have to I don't have to think about it. So I'm trying to get back into it, like I said. So I'm trying to do it 3 times a week. And if I can do it outside because the weather's nice and I'm not traveling, that's great. That's what I'm gonna do. But it's also a great option to go to the gym at the office or in a hotel and do it on a treadmill. So I'm trying to do it 3 times a week. So I added it all 3 times and it's a weekly goal. Okay, and then the last one is the only household related one I have this month, and that is to clean my floors. Now, I know, you are sitting there probably slightly judging me that I don't clean my floors every week. But I don't. I might like vacuum or sweep up one thing in particular if like we make a mess. Obviously, I'm not just gonna leave it there. Or if there's a particular amount of Charlie's hair, especially during the seasons that she sheds a lot, like I will do a sweep of the floor. And then like when it starts to feel a little bit gross, I'll take the Swiffer out and like do the floor. But it's not a routine. And it's kind of, I know it's gross. Okay, I know it's kind of gross. So that's the goal this month. I just think it'll make our apartment feel better if once a week I like legit clean the floors. Like I sweep and then I vacuum and then I Swiffer. All of it, the whole apartment. Let's be real, okay? The apartment's like this big. It's gonna take me like maybe 20 minutes to do that, but I think it's gonna be worth it. And that's it for weekly action items. Moving on to daily action items. So like I mentioned earlier, we're bringing back the daily check-in of the power sheets. This is something that I just think makes a huge, huge difference in my progress. So I'm bringing it back and I'm excited to check in with these every single day in October, except maybe the 2 Saturdays that I'm out of town. All right, I'm also bringing back AM reading and PM reading. Now, I read a lot on vacation. I got into a fiction book and I read the whole thing the whole week we were gone. I started it on the plane when we left and I finished it at the airport before we got on the plane to go home. It was perfect timing. It was a great book. But that was just because I was on vacation and I was into it. I have very much fallen out of the habit of reading in the morning and reading before bed. I have gotten into the habit of just going into my morning as soon as I wake up, after I, scroll through social media, because that's good use of my time, and watching TV before bed. Now, it doesn't help that like 4 nights a week there's football on to watch before we go to bed that we will watch together. And then like by the time it's over, it's like super late. It's time to go to bed. So I'm like, I'm not gonna read because it's too late. Well, that's dumb. I should turn off the football and read the book, unless it's my team. Then I'm not turning off the football. Okay, and then the last 2 are both health-related items that I'm transferring over from September because I do want to work on them and focus on them, and that is to weigh in every morning. I know there's multiple schools of thought on whether this is a good thing or not, but I do want to try and do it. I think it motivates me to see the number every morning. It just does. And then the last one is to stand for 30 minutes a day and actually make use of my standing desk. So that's it. I tried to keep it really simple for October. I mean, there's still a lot on here. Like if I check everything off, which I already missed a day because it's October 2nd and I didn't check anything off yesterday, clearly. So it's not gonna be perfect, but if I do have a significant amount of check marks on this page, I will still feel like I have made progress, even though there are way less items. And part of this was inspired by Laura Casey herself, the woman who created the power sheets. I realized that she only puts a couple each month in each category. Like there are all these lines and she actually never, ever has them all filled up. So why do I always feel so much pressure to fill them up? Like I kind of wish there were just less lines, but maybe that's just me. Anyways, I'm excited. Also, this is the last goals video before I see the new power sheets. They are on their way to me. And so by the time I film the next one, I'll get to make comments like, oh, well, in next year's version, there's a blah, 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 and that will help. Like, I'm so excited about y'all. I can't wait for them to get here. I can't wait to share them with you and talk about the new things. They've already sneak peeked a couple things. More than a couple at this point, but here are the highlights. There are 4 covers. They are beautiful. So there's 2 solid color linen colors, and then there are 2 patterned colors. There's the confetti, which is kind of what I have this year, but I got the pink and orange one. It's just like the rainbow confetti with gold foil, and then they have this beautiful flower one. They also are hard covered. So this year, and like for the past couple years, they've been this sort of like, I don't know what to call it. It's kind of plasticky. It's like a thick, plasticky feeling cardstock. But they have hardcovers for next year and they look awesome. There's a wire coil instead of the plastic coil, and there's a calendar in the layout. So inside your power sheets is a monthly calendar for each month. That's game changing, y'all. I think that is like, that's the best. I mean, the outsides are beautiful. I was actually chatting with a friend about this because I picked my cover out a few weeks ago, and I was like kind of regretting. Honestly, I was kind of like regretting my choice. And then I was like, you know what? The truth is, like, most of the time it sits like this on my desk and you can't even see the cover, right? The insides are so much more important than the outside for me. Anyways, I'm excited to see the rest of the insides and share them with you Like always, I want you to let me know in the comments what is one thing that you accomplished in the month of September that you are super proud of. Let me know. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for watching. Happy planning. The next one were, I am dripping sweat, y'all. Yep, it's hot outside today. And the air conditioning's too loud to leave it on while I'm filming. Charlie, I don't mind when you hop up on my lap during vlogs, but not during like actual videos. For not September, we just did that. Fresh veggie. Guys, I just found the sticker from Organized Videos. So there's that. It was on my hand. I need an air break. BRB. And then the last one on the monthly action items